Have you ever had a personal relationship with Donald Trump?
What do you mean by personal relationships?
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights, sir.
Interesting. Epstein taking the 5th raises important questions that can no longer be ignored. And today, we're asking every one of them. Like, why is this release actually taking so long? And who exactly are they trying to protect? And is the real reason that Trump hates Hillary have something to do with Bubba? Buckle up, we're about to find out soon on season 2 of America's Next Top Scandal. So unless you've been living under a rock or something this past year, I'm sure you've heard something about the Epstein files. Jeffrey Epstein was charged with sex trafficking of minors, was linked to a network of powerful, rich men, then suspiciously died in jail right before he could talk. Yeah. But despite us knowing all of that, the full depth of what the federal government actually knows, like the travel logs, the massive bank transfers, the sealed immunity deals, and the entire web of associates, has never been publicly disclosed. I, for one, think the public has a right to know, and this is why we've been demanding the release for years. So in mid-2025, lawmakers finally dropped the Epstein Files Transparency Act, H.R. 4405. The whole point? To force the Department of Justice to cough up the unclassified documents, communications, and investigative records related to Epstein, his network, and the people involved in those investigations. Basically, stop stalling and hand over the paperwork. In the House, a discharge petition was filed by Thomas Massie and co-sponsored by Ro Khanna. This is basically a procedural move that forces the full House to vote when a certain number of members sign on. They needed 218, but were short by 1 vote until this past week. That's when Adelita Grijalva was officially sworn in as the representative from Arizona. Her very first official act was signing that discharge petition. So now they have the 218 votes. Mike Johnson can no longer block the full House from voting next week. And this right here is exactly why Donald Trump has been shitting bricks. He knows what time it is, and he has been doing everything he can to try to stop the release and spin the narrative in his favor. One thing being widely reported on this week was him inviting Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, of all people, to the White House.
A big pressure campaign is underway here at the White House, targeting House Republicans and the release of the Epstein files. Now, clearly, Speaker Mike Johnson said there will be a vote next week by the full House whether to vote to release the Epstein files, calling on the Department of Justice to release the files. Clearly, the White House does not want that to happen. That became clear on Wednesday when there was an extraordinary meeting that was held here at the White House. The Attorney General, the Deputy Attorney General, the FBI Director, all met with one member of Congress, Lauren Boebert of Colorado, urging her to not sign on to this, what's called a discharge petition. That is basically voting to allow the House to have a bigger vote. She said that, look, she is going to support the release of the Epstein files. So this extraordinary meeting here at the Situation Room in the White House clearly did not go as planned. But for the next week, this pressure campaign is still so important because the White House does not want there to be some major defection of House Republicans to vote for the release of this file. So for all the efforts that President Trump has done to try and move beyond Jeffrey Epstein, that still very much hangs over him, at least for the next week.
Wow, so this man is so desperate, he's trying to scare people into not outing him. Like, think about it. He literally called in his attorney general, the deputy attorney general, the FBI director, all to the Situation Room to convince Boebert to remove her name from the petition. Like, all the stuff going on right now in our country and around the world, but this was priority number 1. I could have swore the Situation Room was for actual emergency situations, not to try to protect some pedo president. And child, it was all for nothing because Boebert didn't even fold. She's supporting the victims and keeping her name on the petition. So when that didn't work, King Kankles went to plan B. So instead of letting the spotlight stay on the Epstein files, Trump suddenly announces this massive, totally serious, extremely credible effort to investigate Democrats connected to Epstein. What a coincidence. Right when the files are about to be released that would likely incriminate him, he directs his attorney general to launch a bigger counter-investigation. Okay, Donald, investigate away. We already know the vast majority of pedos just so happen to be Republicans, not Democrats. And if there are any Democrats in the files, then they need to be put on blast too. We don't worship party over principle, unlike some people with red hats. As if this week wasn't messy enough, suddenly Trump decides he's not done playing nice. Trump decides he's done playing nice with one of his loudest, most ride-or-die allies, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Yes, really. The same Marjorie Taylor Greene who spent years defending him like it was her full-time job. Yeah, that one. Apparently because she believes the files should be released too. Yeah, it ain't good when even your most loyal bottom bee says that you're on your own with this one. But just when you thought this week couldn't possibly get any crazier, Danica Lewinsky started trending all over social media. In one of the emails released, Epstein asked if Putin had the pictures of Trump giving Bubba head. Bubba is Bill Clinton's nickname. I cannot believe I'm being forced to report this, but this is actual news. And Bill's reaction when being asked about it certainly does not help dispel the rumors.
Any comments on the alleged allegation of your connection with Jeffrey Epstein?
All this time, Trump's been bragging about finishing the big, beautiful bill, and I didn't realize he meant Bill Clinton. Well, at least he's of age. That alone is a win when it comes to Donnie Diddler.
So yeah, that was this week in a nutshell. Dear God, please let next week be at least semi-normal. Next week, the full House will vote on releasing the Epstein files. We're hearing that as many as 50 Republicans could defect and vote with the Democrats to release the files. So in the words of Lizzo, it's about damn time. I'll be keeping you posted every step of the way. So please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach my first 1,000 subscribers. Until next time.